to think I know a thing or two about true wireless earbuds, especially AirPods, considering I own a few. I'm currently missing one of my AirPods simply because my girlfriend borrowed them for, exercising or studying. These, however, are my AirPod Pro 2s. Apple has been baking a new version of these in the oven, and I think it is time for a pack-a-punch. What's up, guys? My name is Dayscar, and today we're going to be diving into the new AirPod Pro 3 from Apple. These dropped just a few weeks ago, and I've been testing them out non-stop in my daily routine. Workouts, calls, music sessions, you name it. At $249, the same price as the AirPod Pro 2 model, Apple has packed some serious upgrades into these things without hiking the cost. A stable price point, of course, is a win, but let's start breaking down what makes these new AirPods amazing. First of all, the fit and comfort are on another level from AirPod Pro 2. I popped these in for a run and they did not budge once at all. No more constant readjusting like with other AirPod models. These stay fit in my ears, and that is all to mostly because of the brand new silicone foam ear tip hybrids. It is easier than ever to get a perfect seal for optimal noise cancellation and sound quality. Speaking of noise cancellation, this is where AirPod Pro 3s really have a step up from the other model. Apple claims to have twice the ANC, the active noise cancellation, from the AirPod Pros 2. And in my test, I do believe that claim holds up. Whether you're on a noisy flight or a loud coffee shop, these things create a bubble of silence around your head that is honestly top tier. The transparency mode is a gold standard too in audio. With the built-in microphone, it will feed in a bit of ambient noise from your surroundings right into your ears to kind of allow you to still have a feel for what's around you and your surroundings, your spatial awareness, while at the exact same time not having that like pressurized, uncomfortable feeling that you would get with some noise canceling headphones or earbuds. Speaking of microphones, there's a new microphone in the AirPod 3s that again is quite another step up, better quality, and using that new H3 chip. They're doing a lot of work to really filter out a wind or anything you may get and really kind of just hone in on focusing on your voice through the phone call. Battery life is stretched out a bit. Last year's models were about 6 hours of battery life with ANC, and now we're up to 8. So good job there, 2 hours, I'll take it. Of course, we have an entirely brand new feature to the new AirPods, and that is the in-ear heartbeat monitor. I didn't know that you could test for your like heart rate using the the inner rim of your ear. There's a monitor inside the new AirPods now that will go in there, and while you're running, if you don't have like an Apple Watch or something like that, you can still do workouts and track your heart rate with just the AirPods, which is pretty cool because I've noticed a lot of people are switching out, not wearing smart watches. They're kind of going back to traditional watches, or some people even just wear a Whoop, but maybe you won't need anything at all if the tech really does hold up with that heart rate monitor from inside your ear, which I was not expecting. If you are deep into the Apple ecosystem, like any other AirPod models, these things do sync perfectly with all of your Apple products, being your iPhone, MacBook, iPad, whatever it is you may use. And with one of those Apple ecosystems, of course, the Find My feature is better than ever with AirPod Pro 3, making these things a lot easier to find. I may have a lot of AirPods, but I promise you I've lost more. All right, but let's be real. No product is perfect, and although I'm giving AirPod Pro 3 a lot of gas, these things ain't perfect either. And one of the flaws of AirPod Pro 3 actually comes from the sound. Now, don't get it twisted. Sound on these things are absolutely amazing. If you are a bass head like myself, some of those lower end heavy tracks, think something of like a Ken Carson, I'm starting to notice a little bit of crackling in the driver of the headphone. Now, of course, this is only mostly noticeable if you have the audio maxed out and you're listening to a super thumpy, rich track. And I personally do use Spotify and Apple Music, but when I'm using Spotify, they have a little built-in EQ feature where I like to kind of push the bass up even a little bit more. With last year's headphones and even some of the other AirPods, I've never had an issue with literally hearing the flexing of the driver in my ear. But with AirPod Pro 3, I'm noticing a bit more of that. Like I said, this actually does have better bass than any other headphone. I just don't know if it's handling the frequency of some bass heavy tracks as well as the other AirPods would. Again though, at moderate volume, and I'll even say moderately high volume, you won't really have an issue with it. You're still going to be deep and punching. You're going to have that wider sound space than we had from last year's model. But when you really crank these things out and push it to its volumes, you will start to notice some cracks in that armor. Apple engineers don't have superpowers, when it comes to the software sides of things, of course, the AirPods are perfect. And when it comes to the hardware side of things, AirPods are near perfect. But of course, the physics of cramming all this new tech into these AirPods are going to come with its limitations, and that is okay. Maybe AirPod Pro 4 will be better than AirPod Pro 3, but if you have any other generation of AirPods, I will say that the current brand new model of the AirPod Pro 3 is an absolute way to go. But if that trade-off is a little too much to bear for you, well then of course, I'd probably recommend you looking into something a little more over-ear like AirPod Maxes or Beats Studios, or even the Love Bass, the Skull Candy Crushers. I tried some of those not too long ago and I'm blown away at the bass of Skull Candy, a headphone brand I thought I'd never be remotely interested in ever again past 2012. But Skull Candy Crushers, thumping in the eardrum. Overall though, the AirPod Pro 3s are a solid evolution. Easily the best true to wireless earbuds, especially if you use iOS devices. If you're upgrading from the first gen AirPods or even the AirPod Pro 2s, this is a substantial jump from A to B. You will feel the difference in your first listen. Let me know in the comments what you think and if you've picked these up for yourself. Hit that like button if this has helped, and of course subscribe for more tech. Catch y'all on the next one. I love you. God bless. Mwah. I'll see you later.